been talking kind of about, the young bucks in the league,
Yeah.
if you will. And we've seen it, LeBron's getting older, Giannis is getting older, Jokic, Steph Curry. And
Yep.
we're seeing the teams that used to run the league kind of struggling to keep up depending on what conference you're in. Obviously, the Bucks are still very much in the mix, but that speaks more to maybe the Eastern Conference than it does this Bucks specifically. But in the Western Conference, you could absolutely see what I've been calling the changing of the guard happening in real time, which had us thinking for this Power Rankings Tuesday, we should look into the future. All right, we're going to have you look into the future, Bill.
Okay.
The year is 2029. That's
Okay,
5
got it.
years from today.
Okay.
And in the year 2029, where I am just as cute as I am right now, because I'm not going to age that much in 5
Good
years,
job.
we
Okay.
want to know who
Yeah.
will be the best players in the league, the top 5 players in the league in the year 2029.
And I will still have dark hair because all the Rider men get silver hair in their 30s, but I missed that gene. So I'm like,
Silver hair
so
looks
right.
amazing on guys. Look at Anderson Cooper.
It's coming for me. It isn't here yet. All right. So top 5 players, 5 years from this moment, heading into the 2029 playoffs. Drum roll, please. I do a drum roll, but my desk moves. You notice if I do,
Yeah.
it looks like there's an earthquake here in LA. Ooh, that's because you're in the honor choir.
Yeah,
that's the kind of honor choir. All right. I'm factoring age in, right? Like Giannis will be 34. There are some guys who are going to be a little older. First one's easy. Number 1, it's Wemby. It's Wemby. I think Wemby's the top 5 player in the league the next year, the year after. I'm a little worried about this next one because I need him to stay in shape, right? I need him to kind of, take care of himself. I need Luka at number 2. I'm going to go Luka at number 2. Okay.
Interesting.
Mr. Doncic. Yep.
Is Luka a champion at this point?
I think he is only when he forces his way out or just leaves to play with his buddy Joker because they're good friends and they mess around. They're from the same part of Europe, right? Same part of the world. They're buddies. Only if he teams up with Nikola Jokic. But so maybe not if he's playing with. I don't want to go with Kyrie. I'm not playing with Kyrie. All right. Number 3, I'm gonna go Chet. I'm gonna go Chet Holmgren from the Thunder. Might be
okay.
I mean, rookie this year would have been rookie of the year in any year. If I just think I think that he's that good, and B, I think the Thunder are going to be that good, and they're going to be at such a high level. He's going to be so motivated. They're going to win titles, I think, over this stretch. I'm going the guy that inspired this conversation, the man that took a piece of John Collins' soul on national TV and just put it in his pocket and took it home with him and put it up as a trophy in his living room. Mr. Anthony Edwards. I think
yeah.
I think he's, and it's not recency bias. You and I have discussed this before. I just think he's that talented. And then it gets really hard. I'm going to go SGA. So 2 of the top 5 players are going to be Thunder. Yeah, I think Shea. I think he's it. I think he's legit. And I think he's good enough to win MVPs between now and when Wemby dominates.
Very interesting list because it's a little bit of, I guess, it's some level of expectation you kind of already knew, but then there's some surprisers in there. For example, no Jason Tatum.
That was tough. Can I give you my reason?
Yeah, let me go through the list of some of the guys you missed and then tell me why.
Okay, hit me.
All right, well, let's just go one by one, actually. Okay, so no Jason Tatum. Why?
So producer Aaron made this point, and he sort of encapsulated what I was thinking. He feels like he's perpetually the 7th best guy in the NBA. Now, next year, like really good.
7th best?
Really?
Okay.
It was Aaron's deal, and I was like, yes, that's your set. So I think he is incredible. I think that if he starts winning championships, right, play at this level in the playoffs, we'll see him differently. But I think he's hit a very high ceiling where he's going to be. I think this is the player that he is. Mm-hmm. And I think I think Shea's already passed him, and I think some of these other guys certainly will.
Okay, an interesting name that's not there. Obviously, we haven't heard much of him from off the court situations and then injury. John Morant.
Yeah, that's a really good call. And I thought about it, and it was him or Shea, maybe, and a few other guys. I think that some of it's probably unfair, Ash. He's got to be healthy, and hopefully what the mistakes he's made off court are behind him, but he's got to play, right, in order to be outstanding. And he's probably going to be fine. He's a young guy, but he's so athletic. He reminds me of Russell Westbrook in the sense that he can shoot a little. He can shoot, but he is an athlete. And 5 years, a little wear and tear, some history of injury, maybe that pulls him down a little bit.
For me, he reminds me a lot of, which is one of the things I love about Jaws, his athleticism and his direct, I feel like, correlation to a Derrick Rose or an Allen Iverson. But with his
Yeah, Derrick
direct
Rose.
correlation to them,
Good.
he also reminds me a lot of that tenacity that they played with, and because of that
Yeah,
tenacity, how prone they were to injuries. And I think
it's a
that
great call.
he's missing that one part of his game, that mid-range part of his game, where if he can just shoot consistently without flailing around and doing all these acrobatic, just incredible things to watch as a fan, it definitely prolongs his longevity. We gotta put Jokic in there. I mean,
Okay,
he's still relatively young. Jokic and Giannis.
tricky.
Why aren't they on your list?
So they're both, if I got my math right, going to be 34.
Which is not
So yeah,
old.
no, not old, especially today. I mean, hell, LeBron will be 45 when this happens, or 44, and he'll probably still be the 20th best player in the NBA. Just
Uh-huh.
old, father time over there. So Giannis, obviously, as he gets a little older and loses his athleticism, his game is not going to translate the same way. That's not true for Jokic. Again, Aaron's point, he can't run or jump right now, and he looks like he's 50, and he's still the best player on the face of the earth. I think for me, and I actually had him on the list, Ash, and I crossed him out. I had him high. I don't know how much he actually loves basketball.
You think he's
I don't
gonna
know how much
go play with his horses?
yeah, might be with his horses, or might
Yeah.
just get 4 titles between now and then and say, I like hamburgers. I don't like working out. And
But
I'm just
I
going to
will say this though. Jokic is like the amount or lack thereof of energy he exerts, because he doesn't do all this like sexy, just like athletic, just acrobatic movements, will probably prolong his career. He doesn't really move much.
fair.
It's
Yeah, it
just
doesn't need to.
he's
Yeah, it's
just
true.
a freak of nature. He's just that good that he doesn't really have to do much. So like he may play till he's 50 if he really wants to.
If there's anybody on there that I got wrong on this list, I would bet it's him. He's just, to your point, I'm worried he's going to be chilling with his horses.
I want to throw this name in here also. I mean, Jalen Brunson, very young
Yeah,
guy.
I love
And
Brunson. He'll be 32.
yeah,
Little old for that position, although not as much as it used to be. I
okay.
mean, the science has changed. I thought about it because I have so egregiously doubted him in the past, and now I want to overcompensate. He's the best. I love Brunson. And I think he's probably higher rated for me than most people. I think the way he's carried this Knicks team and the leadership that he's shown, to me, he's a top 10 player in the NBA, which I don't think a lot of people agree with. He is for me. I don't know that in 5 years he's over some of these names.
And one more name I want to throw at you before we go to break is a guy who's not drafted yet, but he will be in 2025, and that's Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, possible. And honestly, maybe there's some, I don't know, maybe there's some 15-year-old kid in wherever, Lithuania, that I don't know about, right? Who's just out there balling. He's going to grow 4 inches. It happens.
The next Porzingis or something like that.
Yeah, that young dude is really. So I thought about putting on the list, like maybe get. The honest answer is I don't know enough about how he projects. I haven't talked to. I should. I will
Right.
for the pod the next month or so, and I'll be at the combine in Chicago. I don't know how he projects well enough to believe that he's gonna be better than SGA in 5 years. But you're right. Him or whoever the guys are coming to the league the year after that could certainly in their second, third, fourth year be outstanding.
Well, listen, we will spin the block in 2029 and see how many of these you
Yeah.
actually got right, because footage lives forever, as you know. So this is not going anywhere. Somebody's going to pull this up on a late night show when Cooper Flagg is the best player in the league with Wemby, and say, you remember when Bill Ryder was wrong about Jalen Brunson? He was also wrong about you. Take a look. And they're going to play this clip, Bill. So
I was on Fallon or the Tonight Show or one of those, something I said about Brunson, and they showed it to Brunson.
yeah.
And he was he's such a
You're going to be
such
on
a
the late
great
night
guy
show
too.
again in 5 years
Again,
from now.
part 2. Brunson will present it to yeah.
And Brunson's going to be on the couch and be just like,
I remember.
Don't feel bad. You did it to me too.
In there.